That back there isn't the start of the new musical Bambi on Ice. That actually is my volunteer James, and he's learning how to drive on ice for the very first time. That's right, on this episode of Go, he's getting some winter driving tips from Ron's driving school. We're here with Ron Craigmyle from Ron's driving school. Ron, how are you doing on this positively tropical Caribou morning? There's hardly any snow around.
Well, we've been lucked out this year. We've had a beautiful begin to winter, and it's still going to catch drivers by surprise, so it's a good time to start preparing for the winter driving before it gets here. Can't believe this is December and it's like a spring morning, but that's good.
Absolutely. So let's talk more about what we're doing here today. You mentioned that, drivers are getting prepared for winter and everything else. So what exactly are we doing out here this morning?
Well, we're going to try and educate some drivers regarding the importance of getting the vehicle prepared for winter before winter arrives. It's a little bit late for that in December, but by the snow amounts here, that's a good time to start talking about these things and get drivers aware of them. So number one is obviously preparing your vehicle for the winter conditions. And that starts from just having a good service maintenance program in place with a good contact with your mechanic and check your brakes, make sure your battery is topped up. It's got sufficient power in the battery, it's not weak battery. Also checking things like belts and hoses, because in the cold temperatures they're likely to crack and get frayed, and even break can cause you problems in winter time. So a lot of it is the maintenance before winter comes.
So it's not just about, having cool stickers and stuff across the side and making your car look nice for winter. It's actually about caring for it, like putting on good winter tires and stuff on there. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the winter tires themselves. Like, what do they do and how do they work?
Well, obviously the winter tires designed, you want to have in this temperature here the winter decal sign on the tire. You obviously want to have good tread on the tire, and you want to have the tires at the correct pressure. And it's important that you check the pressure, because as the temperature gets cooler, the tire pressure is likely to change with the cold weather. So it can fluctuate quite a lot.
Right on. And what else do you need? I noticed that you had a pretty well-organized little office back there. Can you show me around what you keep in the back of your car during winter?
It's important to have certain things in the back of the vehicle. One of the things that we have, if you come to the back of the vehicle with me, is obviously things neatly stored away so that they're not going to fly loose in the vehicle. So a little bit of boxes here keeps things. There's a winter kit here which you can pick up various places. You want to have things that it's going to help you for winter time. So we've got things like a flashlight, there's an umbrella, you've got things like a small shuffle, you've got a tire pressure gauge, there's some accident kits and flares, first aid kit, all sorts of things there that would be beneficial, some basic simple tools, even jumper cables too for helping to start your car if the battery goes weak. There's also, you can see here, we've got some washer fluid. This is really good to keep with you, minus 45 rated, don't add any water to it, but you can go through quite a lot of water, and visibility is number one. It's important that your windows are clean, your lights are clean. Paper towel, you can wash off the windows. You can also clean the lights, license plate, headlights, tail lights and such like with using this too. So really important that you carry these types of things with you for winter driving.
Excellent. Okay, now we're going to go and check out this next story, but when we come back, Ron's actually going to take our student out for a little spin around town, right?
Hopefully not a spin, but yeah, we'll take him out and we'll drive, yeah.
All right, we'll see you after the story.
Oh, I'm Ron. Pleased to meet you.
James?
James?
Yeah. Seatbelt, mirrors. Away we go.
So, James, when you're driving, you obviously want to adjust your speed for the corners before you approach the corner.
Yeah.
Okay? So for the left-hand bend, we adjust the speed on the straight portion, and we're going to stay beside the right-hand side. So remember, we're using the usable portions of the road, only the usable portion. So we're not going to put our vehicle into the slush or loose gravel at the side of the road. So as we approach any hills and bends and bridges, we're going to adjust the speed again on the straight portion here. Deceleration, preferably. Very light braking on the downward slope. And then no sudden movements on the bridge, so no sudden acceleration or change of speed on the bridge deck, because the bridge decks are usually more slippery than other portions of the road. If we drop back a little bit more, we get more visibility around that truck. And we're also more likely to be seen by the truck driver too, because basically if we can see his mirrors, then he should be able to see us. So increasing the following distance at winter time is really important. So giving yourself ample space from the vehicles in front.
So we're here taking a little break with James. James, How's today going so far?
Actually pretty well. I've already gone to go on a short trip down the highway, and we've had fun doing that. I've learned a bit about braking, how to go around the corners properly, and how to try and stay on the road.
And you want to try and present your vehicle so that you can see and the other drivers can see your vehicle as soon as possible. So for example, on a right-hand bend, we want to assume a position a little bit more towards that white center line.
Now, I'm really sorry for putting you in the spot here, but are there any bad habits that you had that you rectified with driving around Ron on the highway there?
I realized that I kind of need to learn to, when I'm going around a corner, I need to drive a little closer to the outside of the corner, just so when I'm coming around, I can both see and other people can see me.
And do you figure out how to use all the cool controls in there to check out the radio and stuff as well when you're driving? Or do you not do that when you're driving?
You think I get to use the radio in a lesson?
All right. Obviously, he's learned a pretty good lesson here. And James is going to be driving around the city and on some of the back roads as well. We're going to come back with that right after the story.
About ABS, how does that actually work?
Anti-lock brakes is quite a good system. It's an electronic system, and it's been on the go for quite a number of years. And the technology behind it means that the system is designed not to allow the wheels to lock up when you're applying braking. So on icy conditions, when you apply the ABS brakes, if the sensors on the wheels detect that the wheels are beginning to lock up, then they'll actually release that wheel from locking and skidding. Let's try and talk a little bit about skids. Front wheel skid traditionally is when the vehicle goes in a straight line when you apply any steering and the vehicle doesn't start to turn. What you have to do to control the front wheel skid is to have the confidence enough to straighten your wheel, to straighten the tires. Even though you're actually on a bend, you need to straighten your wheels to get the car back to your control. And then gently braking while you've got the wheel straight, and then reapplying the steering. If all else fails, then you've got an emergency braking maneuver where you straighten the wheels, just brake and stop the vehicle, and that's what we would call crash management. Rear wheel skids, reducing the power to the engine, so reducing the acceleration. Depends what causes the skid. It could be a braking skid or an acceleration skid, but generally reducing the power. And you want to start training yourself to be looking where the vehicle is going. Ooh,
like that?
That's somebody on ice. That's somebody on ice right there, yeah, like that.
Well, I saw the car and he started sliding out to me.
Yep. He was sliding on the corner. And that's basically what happens. It's anticipation of other drivers.
Welcome back to Go. And hey, James, do you know what this spot is?
That would be the trunk, in this case.
Yeah, I was kind of hanging out one of these a little while ago when you almost took my legs out. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that little hairy experience there?
Yeah, that kind of happened when I was following you. You wanted to get an interesting looking shot, and someone decided to come around the corner a little too fast.
So what did you learn about backroads driving in that case? Like, do you have any tips for me about backroads driving there?
Well, when going around the corners, you want to take it about as wide around the corner as possible.
Now, apart from the backroads driving, you also drove in the big city. You drove in the city of Quesnel, so what did that feel like?
First off, big city, really? Really?
It's a massive city. I lived in Chetwynd before. Anyway, tell me about the big city of Quesnel. Like, how did that driving go?
For me, Quesnel driving is easy. I've gotten used to it over the year that I have been driving, and whether it's winter or summer, it doesn't really change much because you're not going as fast. But still, you have to be careful hitting the stop signs, and you got to be able to watching out for people.
So for the stop sign ahead, right now, you can start looking in your mirror, slowing your vehicle down well in advance, which conditions the driver behind to also brake because you're braking, and then slowing up back here. So when it was really icy, sometimes stopping back here conditions the car to stop and leaves you room to extend their braking distance.
I found out that I need to pay attention to the people not only in front of me, but behind me as well.
Sounds like you learned a fair bit, I learned a fair bit, and Ron's probably sitting there going, why did I agree to do this class anyway? He's probably tearing his hair out with all those kids and everything else, but no, I'm kidding. Anyway, we're going to go through this next story, and when we come back, Ron's going to tell us a little bit more about winter driving. So Ron, welcome back from your, okay, well, I'm not going to use word spin because you didn't spin. How did today go?
Today went really good. James was an interesting person to drive with. He's a young driver. He's just recently got his N, so this will be his first winter challenge for him, so I think he picked up a lot of good little points.
Any little challenges or any little surprises in there?
There's quite a few surprises with a little bit of ice when a driver skidded her vehicle in a corner towards us. So it caused a reaction from James, and certainly I managed to handle it well.
Excellent. Okay, now you were talking about driving on ice and, you know, James being surprised about it, but a lot of people get caught unawares by the ice, even after driving for like 10 years now. Like I get caught unawares on black ice every now and then. So do you have any tips for advanced drivers, like, and what they should do when it comes to ice? Any basic ideas even?
Well, every driver, I think, gets surprised at some point. Driving is a diminishable skill. We all think we know what we're doing and we begin to lose that skill. So to brush up is very, very important. Anytime you get the chance and opportunity, sometimes employers are very good and they will provide programs for employees. It's excellent to take those opportunities to brush up on driving skills. Being prepared for the winter is much better than dealing with it after it's happened.
Given the current conditions that we have, do you have any suggestions for that?
The current conditions that we have right now is going to be very challenging because once you see snow on the road, we tend to slow down. But right now, everything is a hidden blindness to us. So you're challenged from the sun, the bright sunlight today, the reflections, the glare. You have to understand that that can affect other drivers around us. We're also challenged from the wet road conditions. It could be icy under there. We accept that we can hear some the slushy sort of sound of the rain and the wet road surfaces. But we have to understand that ice forms and we have to be looking for ice in all areas.
A lot of us don't just drive cars and SUVs. There's a lot of people in the Caribou that drive big trucks. Now, for trucks and stuff like that, are there any tips for them?
Well, trucks obviously are very light in the rear end, and it's important that you can compensate that in some way. So if you can put some weight at the back end of the vehicle, that's going to help. Obviously, it's important that we have equal tires of equal grip. So winter tires all around the truck for sure. And obviously, don't use old sets of tires. Tires have a lifespan on them. These are the things that grip to the road, and these are the things that are going to keep us safe. So your number one priority should be the tires.
So if I needed to get a hold of you, how would I do that?
Well, you can easily see on the side of the car, we've got some website information, we've got some telephone numbers on the car. We're also in the local info book there, you'll find us on the info book. And yeah, anytime, just give me a call, I'll drop off some cards at your office, no problems.
Excellent, okay. We're going to go check out this next story and we'll be right back after that. So thank you for watching that episode of Go. I'm going to head out there and try some of the new winter driving tips that I've got from Ron and James there. Hopefully I'll be a lot better and safer on the roads, and hopefully you'll be as well. Now, before we leave, I'd like to wish you a happy holidays from Shaw, and the city councils of Williamsburg and Quesnel would like to do the same as well. So happy holidays and have a good one. We'll see you in the new year.
On behalf of council and staff, I wish everyone in our community a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Drive safe and enjoy the holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.